and then I could be able to if I don't record it. Okay, I think I am. Okay, so I'll give some shout outs here in a little bit, but just a reminder, Kansas City, you guys, still 129. I really want to make sure that you're getting your tickets to be there, because with it being the 10-year anniversary, this is just going to be such an incredible time to be together and really, really, really build your belief. The influencer program, the steps of 1, 2, 3, goes till the end of June. March Madness taking place with the brackets. That's a weekly thing. And then the Ireland incentive ends end of April. I can't believe it's already March. And then, of course, the Physique VIP challenge is going on, and then our Go for No. So until Gloria comes on, I want to kind of address the Go for No. I put on Team ACT. I wanted you guys to tell me struggles that you are having, just in general, and things that you might want to hear about on the Team Zoom. And one of the things Vicki talked about was she mentioned that she was having a tough time getting people to commit to jumping on the weekly presentations that are taking place, right? She's not the only one. I do too. I'm sure all of us do, okay? So I went into the Beautiful Leaders group that Sean and Michelle have, and I asked, what have other people been doing? And this is what I said. I said, I'm just looking for some feedback. I said, are y'all having more success with your own prospects and getting them to watch a live Zoom, attend a home meeting, or do your own presentation one-on-one and then see a Zoom? And a lot of them said they struggled with the same thing, getting people on the live Zooms. The consensus was that they are typically doing one-on-ones or talking with the person themselves, showing them the ABC, and then giving them a recorded presentation. And most of them were saying they have a tool belt of like 2 to 3 of their favorite presentations, and those are the recordings they send to people. So when it comes to the Go for No, I know we talked about that invitation of I'm looking for 100 no's in 90 days, and I had asked Vicki some of her invitations she sent out as well. And I would just say, when you're going through your database, if it's someone you know and you know what they do, like Vicki, you mentioned one of your gals was a nurse, then instead of just shooting it straight with I'm looking for 100 no's in 90 days, like touch them where they're at. You know, you being a nurse, this is really important information that I just really think you need to equip yourself with. I'm expecting people to say no. If you're a no, that's okay. Rather than, you know, saying I'm looking for 100 no's in 90 days, still taking the weight off of them and saying I'm expecting no's anyway, but really trying to make sure you touch them in a way that affects something in their life to where you're giving them a reason why they should watch it. Does that make sense? And then I would say to you guys to do that exact same thing. Find those 2 to 3 recorded presentations. Michelle swears by the Melody Rodarte, Sean Poe presentation. And when we're sending those, whoa.
We can still see you, Tanya, so I don't know what you're experiencing, but it's fine on this side. You're fine on this side.
It's so weird.
Nothing's changed for from our vantage point.
Okay. Oh, there you are. What just happened? See, Karen, you're not the only one, sister. My goodness. Okay. I don't even know what I would say, but I would say equip yourself with those presentations. And then the really, really important thing is remembering, going back to the basics. Like when I first got in, Rich, I know when you first got in, it was about asking them questions, getting to know them, inviting them to watch an ABC investigative report. Do you have 10 minutes to watch an ABC investigative report? Great. When do you have time to watch that? Tomorrow night at 7:30? Okay, great. I'm going to call you tomorrow night around 7:15 and make sure that you have time to watch it, that it still works for you. Eric Worre talks about this in GoPro. You are taking control of the situation, showing them posture, showing them that you're a business owner and that this is not a joke to you. This is not a hobby to you. This is something you take very seriously, and the information is very serious for their life. So you call them at 7:15. Okay, in 15 minutes, you still good to go at 7:30? I'm going to text you the link. After you watch it, I'm going to call you back and we're going to talk. you call them back and you have a third party on the phone with them. And that third party validation, it's just like we've ever done before. The third party is, you can have that person on the line when you call them back, or you can bring them in. And I don't try to keep it a secret, right? Many times I'll tell them when if I have a one-on-one and I'm sitting with them, I'll let them know, hey, it's one thing to hear it from me, but I have my friend Michelle. She knows we're meeting. We're in business together. She got in before I did, very successful. And I want you to hear her story. I still use third-party validation. It's so important, you guys. Think of anything in your life. We don't always just ask one person. We look for different opinions. I have a situation where I'm talking to a friend and I told her, I'm like, look, I really want to do business with you. So instead of you just hearing from me, I want to show you how you would do your business. So I'm going to bring my friend Michelle on the phone, and she's going to share the information with you, and I'm just going to sit back. And then you're going to see how this is done. And you're going to know that you're able to do this. Like, it doesn't have to be a scripted thing. Just be real with it and let them know that it's for their benefit. I think with technology and Zooms and all the presentations and stuff, we're just kind of overthinking it. And again, go back to the beginning. Go back to when you first got started. Do you have time to watch an ABC investigative report? It's only 10 minutes. Great. When are you going to watch it? Confirm it. And that's going to probably be more, when we do the go for no, it's not about just getting them to that big presentation to you guys. I know that there's a lot of hype right now with those taking place on a weekly basis every night. But a lot of people, the feedback I was getting is they appreciate them more for training and to build their own belief. A lot of them are bringing distributors on board with them that maybe are just learning to present, and they're utilizing it that way. So I wouldn't use that in your go for no. If you're having a tough time with that, then stop inviting them to the live Zooms and simply invite them to watch the 10-minute ABC report. That's it. And make sure that you schedule that time. Rich, do you have anything else to say about that? I'm going to text Gloria quick and find out where she's at.
No, I think the thing the thing I try to instill in my team all the time when I work with them is that, remember, your story or your prospect story begins the moment you open your mouth for the first time. And so if you make the process of getting the information difficult, that's all they know. That's all they remember. And if it's not a simple, if you tell the story, then they're going to say, what are they going to say? They're going to say, well, I don't know if I could do it. Candy's too amazing. She knows all the products. I don't know. So getting them to something where you can say, what did I do? I just got you on a Zoom and I had Tanya answer your questions. How hard is that? And I think that's the key, because we say in network marketing, it's not what works that matters. It's what can be duplicated. Mm-hmm. So just because you're good doesn't mean your team, your potential team is going to be good. So it's better to have duplication than have success by yourself. That's all I would say to that.
Absolutely. And it's just being a good listener, right? I mean, you guys, again, if we ask enough questions and we're a good listener with this, then it's a great way for us to just know their pain point and know exactly why, telling them why, if I would you, and telling them to look at that ABC report. And you're reminding them, look, I don't expect everyone to see this the way I did. So if it's a no, it's okay. I just want to know for my benefit and as well as yours that I share the information with you. Like, this is an obligation to me. This is a really, really big deal. So I don't know where Gloria is, but I wanted to give a shout out to you guys. I have not done I was doing the February recap of enrollments, and it was so much fun in the month of February to see so many names that I have not seen for a long time that were enrolling. But Katie, I know you're on here. I know you brought in a new customer. I'm so proud of you. Candy, you brought in 2. Congratulations. Dawn, you brought in 1. And I know one of your newest distributors, she brought in a couple. Brenda Heller, she brought in a couple of customers. Vicki, you brought in 3 customers. That's amazing. Karen, you brought in 1. I'm just really, really proud of you guys for that. Christy Spaniel, she brought in 4 new customers last month. And Gloria Brinker, she brought in 7 customers. She has probably less than 1,000 people in her little community. And Gloria, honestly, you guys, she's not on these Zooms a lot, and maybe she's having a tough time getting on, but this girl is just still, in a way, like ignorance on fire. She is not a techie person. She does not do social media, but man, she believes in these products, and she has no problem telling people that they're basically out of their mind if they don't get themselves on it. And she'll do her research, and she'll just let them know, this is why you need to take a look at this. And then they believe her. They want to be a part of that. And they are doing home meetings all the time. They're bringing people together locally. They're doing home presentations. And then sometimes she's doing them at local gyms. She's presenting right now at the Physique Challenge because she's utilizing all the products and having success. She's having a lot of success enrolling people through utilizing the Physique system as well. So, okay, I wasn't prepared for her not coming on. So what else should we talk about? Anybody? Oh my gosh, this is, yeah. Let's see, what else? Vicki, your big thing was, did that make sense what I talked about in the inviting and the go for no? And not always thinking you have to use the live presentations on a nightly basis?
Can I share something that I think is relevant? After somebody, Vicki's going to answer a question.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, Vicki, you have a question? Yeah.
Or you asked her.
No, I was just, you had just asked if that answered my question, and it did. You know, in the case of the nurse, she is someone that I had texted before, and I had taken that approach that since you're a nurse, you know, this is something you're going to hear about eventually, something you're going to want to know about, something you may want to share with your friends. And so I had already taken that approach, but she's one of those who's kind of just like, I don't have time right now, or, you know, catch me another time, you know, things like that. So that's why I use the, you know, I'm going for the 100 no's. It was just a different approach to take with her. But I think you're right in that it would be easier to get people to commit to watching a 10-minute video than a 30 to 45-minute presentation.
Yeah, for sure. And just tell her that, Vicki. Just say, look, instead of a presentation, let me make this easier for you. What if I sent you a 10-minute ABC report? Don't tell me you cannot commit to that. And then just
right.
Start with that.
Well, and then, you know how you said have your 2 or 3 go-to Zoom meetings, but I still don't like to just send it out and say, hey, check this out.
No.
I feel like you want to get them to commit to when they're going to watch it, not just, you know, send it out to your 10 go for no people that day and say, watch this and tell me yes or no. I mean, right. I feel like you still want to get the commitment from them before you just send them something.
Yeah, just sending something out without having that discussion and getting their permission and then treating it like a business and scheduling it, we become like every other network marketer. We just do. Hey, watch this video. I mean, that's what my friend in Minnesota, that's what he did to me. He's like, hey, and that was totally scripted. You should take a look at this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I got right back to him. I'm like, look, I'm happy. What are you doing? Let's be real here and have a conversation. What are you joining is what I asked him. And it just like all barriers went down. You know, it's not, we just can't overthink it. Don't script it. Just be who you are. And that's why we have to keep plugging in. You know, when I did that training on Saturday, having to do the follow-up, I don't do a lot of those trainings on the Super Saturdays. I haven't done those for a while. And so to be asked, I was so happy to be asked because it's a reminder of why, like Candy said, LVA is this weekend. It's a reminder of why we have to keep going, because those fundamentals of inviting, 3-way calls, the follow-up, Melody Redarty talking about how to talk to doctors. I mean, that's amazing information, and that's information we should be equipped with. I should have known those 4 questions that Eric Worre says to ask people right off the top of my head, and I didn't. It was a reminder for me as I was doing research for that training, and it shouldn't be. Like, that should be a skill set I have as someone that has a Pro 7 business. So we have to keep showing up, you guys. Those fundamentals, You have to ingrain those in yourself. Okay, Rich, you're up, buddy.
I was just going to share something I learned the other day that was really encouraging to me, and hopefully it'll be encouraging to you guys. I mean, you guys know who Darren Hardy is, wrote the book, The Compound Effect, and the Entrepreneur Roller Coaster and stuff. He had a Darren Daily a couple days ago, and he was talking about people underestimate course corrections in their life. How many times we listen, we go to the Elite Academy, we're like, you know what, I'm serious. I'm going to get to the next rank if it kills me, and we mean it in the moment because we really want it, right? And he used the analogy of the British Tour de France team, who they wanted to win, but they didn't want to just go in there and make all these big changes. And so they committed themselves to make a 1% change in lots of little areas, something that they knew was doable. And it was simple as changing the way they checked into a hotel, for example, or what kind of hotel did they check in? Was it too loud? Just these obscene, not obscene, but just these things that doesn't seem like it would make any difference, right? But they made so many small little incremental changes that they not only won 70% of all the available medals in the event, but they did it in less time than they thought they were going to. And what he talked about is measuring your success, as small as it is. And so we all have heard the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, right? And expecting a different result. So we definitely need to go for no. But I love what Tanya just said a few minutes ago. I think we need to be bold enough to say at the end of a presentation when someone was a no, and all of a sudden, you feel that weight come off, like, okay, they're a no. Can I ask you why you're a no? What could help me be better and tell me what it was? Is it just not interested in the technology, or did I not present it in such a way? Just be candid with them and measure that success, because I don't know about you. Tanya slapped me around several times because I want it so bad that I get what's called sales breath. And they're just like, dude, you've got sales breath. Get away, man. You're not even real. And so I think if we can measure our no's, how many no's we're getting, but also measure how we're doing the presentation. Are we conscious of what we're communicating? Are we conscious of the steps we're taking? And are we making course corrections? Because if we're just going out there and doing more and more of the same thing, it's just going to be frustrating. You're not making any course corrections. And so I think that's really, really important, is to look at what I've been doing the last 6 months and make small little changes here and there. And before you know it, you're going to be in a completely different place. And as they always like to say, don't focus on the rank, focus on the behaviors. If you fall in love with the behaviors, the rank will come. And anyways, hopefully that's helpful, because it definitely was for me to make small little course corrections, because I can see that, right? We can see like, okay, I'm going to listen more than I speak for the next 2 presentations. And, anyways, I thought that was awesome. If you want to look it up, it's Darren Daly's last one. And it was really helpful for me going forward.
I love that, Rich. Thanks for bringing that up. And those small things, you guys, they're small. It could be like the Friday follow-up, right? I talked about that in the training. I loved that idea that it's something that duplicates into your business and into your downline. If every Friday you're checking in with certain team members that Friday, you're checking in with your customers. Hey, it's Friday follow-up. You're checking in with your prospects. And you present it that way. Hey, it's Friday follow-up. Just checking in with you, see how you're doing. And it's not something, especially when you're doing this like with your team members, it's not something to make them feel like there's an expectation of their performance when you check in. It's about you just letting them know that you're thinking of them and that you appreciate them, and you just want to make sure that they're doing okay. And so those little things, I just want to say real quick, and I'll get to Gloria, are just, it could be sending thank you cards, right? You have 5 customers for the week and you send a thank you card, or you check in with customers, or you check your back office, right? During that week, you're going to check your back office 3 times, check your numbers, see your growth month over month, and just really have a tab on as a business owner, how your business is functioning. So, okay, so Gloria, I know you were presenting, so I know you were but I appreciate you still jumping on. We're not going to do the educational piece because I don't want to shortchange that. We'll reschedule that because it's so important and the way you present it is so awesome. So I'm just going to leave you guys hanging by a little carrot to come back and hear Gloria talk about that. But Gloria, I was telling them about all the enrollments you've had lately, and I want you guys to know too, in her small town and lack of technology, I mean, half the time they're getting dropped from Zooms, they're getting dropped from Wi-Fi because they really don't have good connection where they're at. Small town, Minnesota. And she recently just was working so hard to put together, because her knowledge is so advanced, she wanted something that was easy and duplicatable for her team. And she made that. And she presented that to her team. And then she offered up, whoever wants to start utilizing this and doing one-on-ones, I will go with you to the one-on-one, but now I'm giving you tools so that you can present on your own. She's really working hard at leveraging her leadership so that she can continue growing her business and expanding with and getting to that elite position, which you totally deserve. So Gloria, just share with us, we've got a few minutes left on the call, but just tell me what you're saying to people and how you're getting people, like your percentage of enrollment and how you're getting so many enrollments lately. Just talk to us about that and how that's happening for you and what it looks like.
How am I getting probably, well, going to the academy or going to the last convention. You know, I can go to many, many conventions and you're always going to pick something up at them. But I don't know, for whatever reason at this last one, it really was kind of like where's your pain? Like, what is your pain? What is the thing like that's stopping you from really like going forward and stepping forward? And I mean, to be very honest, one of the main things for me was my weight. I mean, I've always struggled with my weight for years and years, and it's kind of like, okay, then and LifeVantage has a great product out there, right? And so it's not just that, but it's me like maybe identifying that, owning that, and just making me like vulnerable, kind of like to say, okay, well, how can I do this? And so sometimes when you want that support, so I kind of first had to like own that, like what is it for me that I don't want to step out or do kind of things, you know? And so whatever that is for you as a person, what's your fear, you know? And that was kind of like my fear. So I'm like, okay, well then how am I gonna do this? How am I gonna make this? And surprisingly, so I put that out there, and surprisingly, people were just kind of like, maybe seeing that vulnerability, seeing that whatever, and that they could like relate to it with me. And so then I was like, okay, I need to do a challenge for myself and get my group and who can all support me. So I put that out there. It was very scary to put that out there on Facebook. You know what I mean? To say, okay, everyone, here's what I want to do. I'm not perfect. And, but I need, you know, can anybody join this journey kind of with me? And that was surprising, was like, and that's what they talked about at the convention, like, own your pain. Where is it? What, you know, what's stopping you? And for me, that really what it was. Now, for everybody, that's not going to be what it is. So whatever it is that's stopping you, you know, maybe feel like, okay, I'm going to identify it. And then who can support me on this journey? And so surprisingly, we put this out there, and I was like, almost like, isn't LifeVantage going to have a challenge? Isn't LifeVantage going to have a challenge? And I'm like, well, I guess they're not. I guess I got to make my own challenge. And so we started our challenge actually January 1st is what we did. Excuse me, January 15th till February, the end of February. And so that month, of course, it was being vulnerable, putting it out there. And then people just like 10 new enrollments for me. I think 16 for my entire group is what it was, you know. And so then of course, then LifeVantage did the whole physique thing starting then in March. So it's like, well, I guess we're just going to continue it. But it was first and foremost just doing that. So most of those 10 people are still on board. And then I had 6 new people last month is what it was. So whatever it is for you that is stopping you, right, then try to figure out how can I get the courage, and then to know that that probably is stopping many other people in their lives as well. So that was for my own personal kind of story. But then also what you had said, Tanya, is like, you know, what are you doing? How can you make it duplicatable? And so you've been telling me that for years, and I thank you for all your support that you give me, Tanya. But it's kind of like, so how can I make it more duplicatable? And how can I help them to help them find their fears, or help them to figure out what is it? And so then that's what it was. It's like, okay, team. And so sometimes we just gathered and I'm like, I need to know what you need help with. I need to know, right? They're like, well, we can't present like you can't, whatever. So yeah, then I spent quite a bit of time to make a different, more duplicatable one that still had a lot of information in it, because my downline wants a lot of product information, and that's where my heart is. My heart is in the product, not in the business, but yet when I made it more duplicatable for them, and they're coming, and so now they're more motivated, and I'm like, you need to tell me, how can you teach someone else? So to really just connect with their need and to see kind of like where they're at. And so then it's just, I don't know, then it's just doing it, when you, I don't know, find your passion, find your pain, and then kind of go from there, if that makes sense to anyone.
Mm-hmm. I love the purity of it. Like, your vulnerable place became like your biggest strength,
Exactly.
Using that. And what's your fear? What's your biggest fear? Like, it makes me want to go grab my book I'm reading. Like, that's all it's about. Like, I mean, it's been a week. I didn't even know if I could get on here tonight and be composed. My stepdaughter is going through a lot, and it's in the week where Kyle's in his last week. So the timing sucks. And I have been trying to coach her through this, that you have to go through this rock bottom to get where God wants you to go. Like, this is going to be your greatest story if you choose to use it and not just settle into this dark place. Mm-hmm. And she's hearing it. And I think the same thing goes for this, right? Like, our greatest struggles sometimes, the things we fear the most, Lord knows the world needs it. Like, they need to know where you're coming from and how you're fighting through it, because all we see on social media is the pretty stuff and the good stuff. So Gloria, I appreciate so much that you said that. I just think that's such a beautiful thing. And the other thing I loved, Gloria, that you said was, my team wants to know information about the products because that's where my heart is. And you had created a Pro 5, very consistent, strong business, following your heart's desire and following your passion with the business, because that's what people are hearing when you invite them, right? They can't deny your excitement and passion in these products. You've never once overthought it. And you haven't always, you've just kept it very black and white for yourself. You've not overthunk it. Whatever.
I don't know.
You haven't overthunk it. And you just stayed so consistent. Yeah. You just stayed so consistent. So I appreciate that so much. And I can't wait to nail you down and do the gut health one.
I did not expect the meeting to go this long. I did a presentation and then people were asking.
That's exciting. That's so good.
And what I think too is like awesome and great, if I can just say one more thing, is that of the people that were, I probably had 12 people here, all of them are already members. I just continue to tell my team, you need to be educated and re-educated and you know what I mean? To keep even coming together. And then of course, people are sitting for 45 minutes or an hour after that, just visiting and talking. And that's the coolest thing about it, but for people to be that connection and that education or re-education or just getting together, just to, I don't know, just to be together. I know you're going through this all together, so it's a great thing.
Absolutely. That community of it is so special. And, in saying that, you guys, when you think of those small towns and a lot of those stories, you think of Sherry Gillespie and the growth that she had in her small town. It's kind of a common story sometimes. And I think it is because of that community. I think it is because they're not caught up in the technology and all of that stuff. They just very pure and true to their heart. And I think we can all learn from that, and bringing people into your home where they feel safe. A door has been opened to them. And I think you always hear more stories that way. We can't open up a Zoom line and hear stories, right? It's very fragmented. It's a PowerPoint and then it's see you later. But when you bring people into your home, there's just so much beauty in that. So remember that. Remember where you came from. Remember that ABC report is really all they need to see. And the right people, when they see the ABC report, they're going to give you the questions that will lead you in the direction that with the next step you need to take. And then knowing and having a list of people that you can contact to get that third party. If you don't feel like you have a list of at least 5 people that you could go to for third party validation, then I want you to reach out to me and I will equip you with that and make sure that you have that. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Gloria, would you close us in prayer?
I will.
Thank you.
Good timing, Doris.
Alrighty. Okay, so let's all just kind of take a deep breath first and just clear our minds and our hearts, and probably mostly me, so I can figure out what I'm going to say. So first of all, just thank you, Lord, for bringing us all together. I thank you for the meeting and the team camaraderie, and just knowing that you have created all of us as individuals. You've created us in your image and likeness. And so our fear really comes from not that you created us wrong, but from within our own selves and in our own hearts. And so for us to kind of dig within that and then use that fear for our strength to personally overcome some things, and then also just to allow your graces to fall upon our business as it needs to. I think it's awesome that the Lord has united all of us across the whole world and across our country. So for this, I ask your blessings on everyone who's on this call and everyone who is not able to make it to this call. And then also help us to get a very restful night's sleep and to continue to do your work, share your love and share your health and happiness and longevity with everyone that we see and meet. And so for this we pray, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Gloria. That was perfect. All right. I love you guys. You guys are my safe place. I love you guys so much. Everybody have a great night. Mwah. Bye.
Mwah.
Mwah.